All right, let's jump right into it. Welcome to today's explainer where we're deconstructing something pretty incredible, the actor's dream. We're going to unpack this deeply fascinating, honestly kind of spiritual source text that gives us a totally unfiltered look inside the raw ambition of an aspiring actor. It's a wild ride, so let's get started. You know, whenever we see a brilliant performance, whether it's on a massive movie screen or a tiny stage, we're really just seeing the polished, final product, right? We almost never get to witness the messy, raw ambition it took to actually get that artist to that point. Well, the text we're diving into today gives us a literal front-row seat to that exact internal process. It's this beautifully vulnerable declaration of intent. Right out of the gate, the author hits us with this: I want to be an actor in my dreams, thinking about films in my heart. I mean, wow, they aren't just talking about a weekend hobby here, they're revealing a foundational piece of who they are. This isn't about walking red carpets or getting famous, it's a completely all-encompassing desire. It literally permeates their subconscious, their dreams, and lives right at their emotional core. It just perfectly illustrates how true passion doesn't switch off the second your head hits the pillow. It's always there, humming in the background.
So that brings up a pretty massive challenge, and really it's the core mystery we're trying to solve here today. Having a dream in your heart is a great starting point, sure, but how does it actually become reality? How do you take those vivid midnight aspirations and pull them into the waking world so they become something concrete, something actionable? Because let's be real, ambition without a mechanism is really just a wish. And the author of our text, they totally get this. As we look at these next few lines, we start to see their highly intentional blueprint for bridging that gap between the ethereal dream world and the physical reality of acting.
Okay, so step one in this blueprint relies completely on internal drive. The text tells us the author is, quote, waking every day with an energy of love. Think about that for a second. The groundwork here, before any actual acting even happens, isn't about memorizing lines or making faces in the mirror. It's entirely about emotional regulation and spiritual readiness. By waking up and consciously choosing to harness this energy of love, our aspiring actor is laying down an incredibly solid foundation of pure positivity for the day. It's like a deliberate rejection of all that anxiety and doubt that usually plagues artists, replacing it with this warm, open, super receptive state of mind.
And building right on top of that energy, they introduce a really vital mechanism, manifesting them by attracting my thoughts. This is where that internal drive goes from passive to active. The author isn't just sitting around hoping for success, they're actively manifesting it by curating their own mindset. Attracting thoughts means literally being a magnet for the ideas, the focus, and those little creative sparks you absolutely need to succeed. It shows this crazy high level of self-awareness. The author knows for a fact that the reality they want to build on the outside has to be rigorously constructed on the inside first.
But as we all know, thoughts alone don't put on a performance. Eventually, you have to transition from that spiritual internal space right into practical application. And look at how the author does this. It's this powerful sudden shift. The day is mine with my tools. Boom. It's a total change in energy. We've moved from the quiet, manifesting morning into just pure, active ownership of the present moment. By declaring the day is mine, they take absolute agency. And by calling out my tools, they're acknowledging that their craft requires specific, tangible instruments to actually execute their vision. They aren't just a dreamer anymore. They are a craftsman, stepping into the workshop, totally equipped and ready to build. So, what exactly are these instruments? Well, the text lays it out plain and simple. Mind, body, and voice. These three elements are the fundamental building blocks, literally the holy trinity for any actor. But honestly, what's so incredibly poignant here isn't just the list itself, it's the phrase right after, they are new. This implies a daily rebirth. Every single morning, through all that manifesting and focus, the actor is basically hitting the reset button on these instruments. They wash away yesterday's fatigue and treat their mind, body, and voice like freshly polished tools, just waiting to be played.
And this brilliantly illustrates the beautiful connection between the physical and the spiritual. When the mind, body, and voice are prepped and renewed like that, it opens the door for a deeper, more profound expression. The author writes, "My soul dances." The soul, that absolute innermost part of the artist, is finally free to just let loose and dance because those physical tools have been perfectly calibrated to support it. But here's the best part. It doesn't dance in isolation. It dances with blessings renewed. Isn't that just a wonderful sentiment? It injects this deep sense of gratitude and humility into the whole process. It acknowledges that, yes, the actor is putting in the sweat equity, but there's also a higher energy, or maybe a mentor's guidance, that's blessing the work.
Now let's see how this naturally leads into the next phase of the journey.
Up to this point, the focus has been totally internal, right? The author's dreams, their manifesting, their personal tools. But no artist exists in a vacuum. To truly hone a craft, you've got to look outward. So the narrative beautifully shifts to the external forces that shape our aspiring actor. Because let's face it, without external inspiration and some solid formal instruction, raw talent really has nowhere to go.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is the incredible, almost playful contrast the author uses to describe these external forces. On one side, we've got pure, visceral, adrenaline-fueled inspiration. Finding inspiration from Tom Cruise, racing a cycle with another vehicle. I mean, it's just this ultimate image of action, cinematic magic, pushing boundaries to the limit. But then immediately juxtaposed with that high-octane Hollywood imagery, we get deeply rooted, formal academic instruction. A wonderful course from the University of London, taught by my instructor, Dr. James Palm. I just love this contrast. It perfectly captures the duality of acting. You absolutely need the fearless, fiery energy of a Tom Cruise stunt, but it has to be balanced out by the disciplined, classical training of a university academic. And wow, the impact of Dr. James Palm's course is nothing short of transformative for our author. The text details this remarkable metamorphosis. The student gains immense confidence. They report feeling royal and beautiful, completely full of grace and power. But for me, the most fascinating details are how deep this instruction actually penetrates. The author talks about the image of your soul flashes in my mind and literally copying your behavior with time. They even go as far as saying they are programming my heart with your language, which ultimately results in, wait for it, speaking perfectly with British accent. No way, right? It's such an amazing, surprising pivot. This goes way beyond just memorizing lines. It's an absolute cellular rewiring of the actor. They are absorbing their mentor's grace, language, and exact cadence until it becomes their own.
Woven throughout all of this incredible transformation, there's a heavily repeated chorus. In fact, variations of greeting the instructor and acknowledging renewed blessings pop up over and over again in the text. Now, to a casual reader, this might just look like a redundancy, maybe just a quirk of the writing. But when we look a little closer, we kind of have to reframe it. This repetition is not an accident. It is a highly intentional, meditative mantra. In the totally chaotic, demanding process of breaking down one's ego to become an actor, this repetitive chorus of thanks serves as a grounding wire. It keeps the artist anchored in respect, humility, and their daily routine. If we actually crunch the numbers and visualize the structure of the text, something amazing stands out. Nearly half of the author's entire work is dedicated exclusively to this repetitive chorus. The good morning, sir, how are you? The declaration of the tools, the dancing of the soul. It takes up a huge chunk of the page. By dedicating so much real estate to these specific lines, the author's proving that the act of expressing gratitude and resetting their focus is just as important, if not more so, than the specific milestones of learning a British accent or feeling royal. The routine literally is the work.
So, to wrap our heads around this, the crucial point is here. When the author repeats, "Good morning, sir, how are you? The day is mine with my tools," they are doing a daily psychological check-in. It's a ritual. It acknowledges the mentor, that external guide, while simultaneously affirming the actor's own internal readiness and agency. It centers them. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter how hard it was to copy new behaviors or program their heart, today is a new day. The mind, body, and voice are new. The tools are ready. The stage is set.
And honestly, the true beauty of this source text is that its lessons go way beyond the stage of the silver screen. Sure, we might not all be aspiring actors dreaming of films in our hearts or learning British accents from Dr. James Palm at the University of London, but we all wake up every single day with our own set of tools, our own mind, body, and voice. We all have the exact same capacity to wake with an energy of love and absolutely claim our day. So I leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. When you wake up tomorrow morning, what tools are you going to intentionally use to manifest your day?